good morning, good morning. We don't get to complain. That's what I'm talking about today. It is, I believe, the 15th of October, which puts us at just under 3 weeks until Election Day. And no, this isn't a political post. This is an integrity post. What I was thinking about is, doesn't it seem reasonable that we don't get to complain if we don't vote? And gosh, I think I've spent most of my life complaining about government without voting. And my excuse was always, well, I lived in Idaho, and Idaho always goes conservative, so I don't need to vote because it's a landslide, right? Or when I did live in California, California was also conservative 30 years ago, so it didn't matter because it was a landslide. And when I lived in Florida, Florida was always conservative, so it was a landslide. And now I live in Hawaii, and Hawaii's all liberal, and it's a landslide. But I still don't get to use that as an excuse. So I'm voting. I encourage all of you to vote. And then if you vote, well, I say we have a right to complain if we vote. But if we don't vote, we don't have a right to complain. I mean, think about it. We created, the United States of America created this brilliant exercise or experiment in democracy where we get to elect our government officials, right? That's why we left England and came here, is because we got tired of being ruled over by a king. And so now we get to elect our officials, which of course is not a perfect process at all. In fact, it's like fraught with all kinds of craziness, right? It's not perfect. Wouldn't it be nice if they made it perfect, right? Seems like when you sit around and think about it, like, wow, I don't know, shouldn't everybody just get a vote? One person gets a vote, right? What is with this electoral college thing? Why do we need that? I know there's a rationale for it. You don't need to put it in the comments. But I don't know, doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me. If there's 200 million people that are eligible to vote, how about everybody votes and there you go, right? And I don't know, why do we need to forecast who's going to win before people have voted? That's going to influence their vote, right? People aren't going to vote if they think somebody's going to win, or right, or they don't want to vote for a loser, so they vote for, I don't know, like influences votes, right? A lot of craziness in our elections. Maybe it should be a national holiday so everybody can vote. Maybe it could all be done electronically and with some sort of like massive security so there's no fraud. So nobody has to take off work or go stand in line for 2 or 3 hours. I don't know. But I do know if we don't vote, I say we don't get to complain. And so that's my encouragement of today, is you got about 2.5 weeks. I'm curious. Okay, awesome, Sherry. So you guys want to drop in the comments, whether or not you have voted. This is what I'm curious about. Have you voted already? How did you vote? Not who you voted for. Don't do that. How did you vote? Like in person or mail-in ballot or absentee ballot, or I don't know. Like, how did you vote? And if you haven't voted yet, then just like, how are you going to vote? I'm curious as to methodologies that people are going to use to vote. And I've told you guys all before, I'm a conservative, independent environmentalist. And so I'm very confused about who to vote for. Don't tell me who to vote for. Just let's keep that all to ourselves, right? Because there's way too much anger about all of that. And for God's sakes, I swear to God, if you post something on this about your rant about, I'm just going to ban you forever from ever listening to me. Don't do that here. You can do it with your neighbor if you want to never have a good neighbor relationship, but don't do it here. So anyway, that's the message of the day. You want to complain? Vote. You don't want to vote? don't complain. Yeah, all right. I'm going to look at some comments. Sarah's going to vote in person. I wonder how long you're going to have to stand in line. You would think, 200 years later, with the way technology is, that we wouldn't have to stand in line for 12 hours to vote, right? By mail or drop-in ballot. Dropping off, okay. Dawn, okay, you're going to drop something off. In Hawaii, they mail everybody's ballot to them. Everyone. You don't even have to ask. I don't know. Let's see, anybody else? Mail, ballot dropped off, ballot dropped off, ballot dropped off. Okay, here's another question for you. I'm curious, just curious. I'm not looking for your rant about it. Do you favor the electoral college, or do you favor just the popular vote? Like one person gets one vote. So you could drop that in the comments. Which do you favor? And if you don't know anything about the difference, like why there is an electoral college, then I don't know, maybe you ought to study that first. I mean, there is like pretty substantial logic for why there is an electoral college. I think it probably is outdated, but I'm for one vote, one person. What are you for? Electoral college, like don't change anything, or one vote, one person? You want to drop that in the comments? Oh, Penny. Oh, Penny. I got to ask you, Penny, why are you, I'll ask you tonight. Hey, I'm coming down to play golf. I'll ask you tonight. Why are you in favor of the electoral college? I want to understand what you know about that. What? Oh, Doug. You're not voting? All right. So, no vote, no complain. Electoral college or popular vote? Yeah, okay, yeah. Electoral college, all states equal say in the election. Yeah, so that's kind of like states voting versus people voting. And I get that. I get the logic of it. All right, that's all I got today. See you tomorrow.